So you might have noticed that there was an article put up about Joao Montero. And it's very significant. Mark Desisto needs to pay attention because nobody else did. So myself and another community activist went to different people. And I can only account for the ones that I went to let them know that they had arrested the wrong man. I went to Frank Milos. That was on a phone conversation that I had with Frank Milos. I contacted Sean Driscoll. He was an IA at the time. And I left numerous messages for Tina Gonzalez, the chief of police. So I think it's pretty telling when the lawsuit was for $1 million. They ruined this man's life. He lost his job of 15 years. He ended up homeless. And to this day, I'm sure he looks over his shoulder, or when people are talking to him or seeing him, they still have in the back of their mind that he possibly did this, when we all know he didn't, okay? Ruining people's lives is not okay. It's not okay. There was an article written where Sue Cormier, who was the detective, she is the one that came up with this playing card thing and everything. She was bound and determined to make an arrest. In fact, when they were looking for DNA, that bitch said that she would punch him in the mouth to get his DNA. Punch him in the mouth. That's assault, right? Is that what we're doing these days? Is that the mentality of the Pawtucket Police Department, where you're thinking that you're going to punch someone to get their DNA? So when I'm looking, and I think that I told everyone, recently I was down at probation. Not that I'm on probation, but I was down there, and there's this big poster board of the cold case cards from Pawtucket. And at the bottom, it still has Susan Cormier's name. She's no longer a detective in Pawtucket. Now she says, would you like that on draft or in a bottle? She's a nothing. She is a nothing. And when she should have been doing her job for Pawtucket, she was calling in other people, when people were excited, they wanted to get, their family members or their friends' cases solved, right? So she was using Pawtucket to meet with people from the outside. There's a lot more that goes on with the cold case cards, and supposedly the 800 number or 877, whatever number it is. I have documented proof that these people that are saying that they're working on cold cases and all this other bullshit, collecting money. Susan Cormier was long gone, and they were still collecting money. The problem was they didn't keep up with the phone number. So the phone number went nowhere. I got documented proof of all of it. So, and Frank Milos and Tina Gonzalez, Michael Caine, what's his name? Christopher Lafort, all well aware. In fact, when I called to get somebody from the cold case unit, and then I called the detectives, and Robert Pickett told me that there was no such unit. But they were collecting money. All they were doing is sitting waiting for somebody to call, maybe or whatever. But they weren't working on these cases. They were not working on anything. So no active investigations. But I know I get all riled up when I think about this. $1 million. $1 million. And then, when it came down to it, that Joao Montero was awarded the $1 million. Tina Gonzalez in the Valley Breeze doubled down, saying he was still her number one suspect. Who the hell is she? Who the hell is she? She wants just another lawsuit because she doesn't pay for these lawsuits. So she's just going to keep going. Hey, Mark Desisto, you might want to keep an eye on your girl, right? Your chief in Pawtucket, because she is just creating more and more havoc in our city. So, just so you know, Mark, you didn't even have to go to court. You didn't even have to do all that stuff. You know why? You wouldn't have had to do it. We told them that man did not do it. And the word on the street, you can usually count on it to be accurate. So anyway, Susan Cormier's business card is still at the bottom of those cold case playing cards. The biggest failure in the city of Pawtucket, where they arrested this man. She was going to punch him in the mouth for the DNA. Yeah, classy girl, right? Very classy. She's going to punch someone to get their DNA. And Tina was right there, listening, carrying on, all excited. Oh, when they did their press release of, we have arrested and all this stuff. You know what? Tina's just causing more problems in the city of Pawtucket. And you're going to see more as it comes out. But Mark Desisto, the attorney for that case, he couldn't say much. I've got a lot to say. Because my city was sued. And we warned them. We let them know, you have the wrong person. So Mark Desisto, why don't you pull up those audios? Messages left for the chief, my conversation with Sean Driscoll, and my conversation with Frank Milos. Go for it, because I'm looking forward to seeing it.